2019, Mike Ashley sold this land that I'm stood on to property investors for £9 million. So what does that mean for any potential expansion of St James's Park? In any regards, it looks like the views that you can see behind me of the Gallagher end are going to disappear in the next year or two. Well, in this video, I'm going to shed some light on all of that. It's coming up. The UK has some great cities. You know, I've been to Liverpool and Manchester and Glasgow and London and Birmingham. But what makes Newcastle so special is how small it is. The whole of the city centre is about a mile square. So that means anything and everything that you want in a city centre, you can walk there within 20 minutes. You've got the big market, Dean Street, the quayside, the gate, wherever you want to drink, it's all within walking distance. You've got the theatre, music venues, the bridges, you've got the arena, and not least of all, behind me, St James's Park, all in the city centre. That for me makes Newcastle an absolutely fantastic place to visit. St James's Park behind me here is commonly referred to as the Cathedral on the Hill. So whereas in every other city in the UK, the cathedral is built on the highest point, we have a football stadium. So it really is like a religion up here. In 2017, St James's Park was voted the second most favourite stadium in England, and that's when fans from all 92 clubs voted. But it just goes to show how popular the stadium is, and that's partly because of the iconic structure and the views of it and its easy accessibility within the city centre. Now that the club's been taken over by Amanda Staveley and the consortium, this really is exciting times for the club, and I'm sure they're doing a viability study right now as to what they're going to do with the stadium, because it does need sprucing up a bit and needs some infrastructure work on it. And I'm sure they're looking at any potential opportunity to expand the capacity, which is currently 52,000. So the only opportunity for extension is the Gallagher end, because on the other three sides it's encased. The east stand, which is the lowest stand in the stadium, it has grade 2 listed Georgian buildings behind, so they can't build on top of that. So the Gallagher is the only opportunity. And I believe back in the early 2000s, they looked at plans to extend the Gallagher end by a further 8,000 seats to turn it into a 60,000 seater stadium. Unfortunately, like I said in the beginning of this video, Mike Ashley sold this land to property investors. So as we speak, there is building work just starting to build 3 tower blocks right behind the Gallagher end. One of those buildings is going to be a 21-storey accommodation block with, I think, 204 apartments. We then have a 13-storey hotel with 200 rooms and another 10-storey building with, I think, 124 flats. So the view behind me in a couple of years' time is going to be gone. Of course, St James's Metro is going to stay here. It's an important part of the transport infrastructure. But this car park over here on my right-hand side, which has been unused for years, that's going to be one of the tower blocks. Now, I'm no architect and I'm no structural engineer, but I'm struggling to see how they're going to extend the Gallagher end by another 8,000 seats with these 3 huge buildings right behind it. Also, the consortium have to think, well, is it worth investing money into bringing up the standard of the stadium if they're thinking about moving locations and building, for example, a 70,000 seater stadium just outside the city centre? Personally, I probably think it's not worth it. And of course, if they built another stadium of, say, 70,000 just outside the city centre, what's going to happen to St James's Park? I think we'll have to remember that the Saudi consortium, the Public Investment Fund, Amanda Staveley and Jamie Rubin, they haven't provided Newcastle United with a gift. There has to be something in it for them. It's an investment for them as well. So they want a return on their investment. And for my mind, I think a 70,000 seater stadium somewhere a couple of miles away would be able to fulfill that potential of financial growth, not just for them, but for the city as well. And yes, building these 3 tower blocks here is going to create, I think, 1,200 jobs, and it's going to be great for the city. It's not great for St James's Park. So this little section of Newcastle has seen some huge regeneration, investment, and the opportunity for more jobs. We've also got the land here directly behind me, which has now been developed into one of the storey blocks. And of course, you can see the office block, which is currently being built around the Strawberry, and it'll form an L shape around that particular building. Unfortunately for the Strawberry, it means it's going to block the views, and it already does for the terrace bar. It's my understanding that the licensees, Caroline and Michael, feel that that's going to maintain the sustainability and future of this iconic pub, and it's not going to be knocked down at any point. I think we might have to get used to the idea of potentially losing St James's Park. But if they were to build a stadium elsewhere, what could they do with St James's Park? I don't know, perhaps they could look at using it as some sort of academy and training facility. They could have the reserves, under 23s playing there, the women's football team playing there. I can see some possibilities. Obviously I'm a layman, I don't know if that's feasible or not, but I would just hate to see this magnificent stadium getting knocked down. Unfortunately, that's probably going to mean that the Sir Bobby Robson Garden Memorial here is going to have to be shifted when this new tower block is in place and put onto stadium land. So there we have it. Mike Ashley really did stuff us in 2019 when he sold this land for 9 million and pocketed the profit. He had no intention of investing that money in the club. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about the potential redevelopment of this particular stadium, or the potential to build a new stadium and where it could possibly be built. And I hope you like the video. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.